735 Cahuenga in Hollywood, California. The significance of this building is, well, it once belonged to Lucille Ball and Desi as a part of a Desilu property. They were originally shooting the show at the General Service Studio, and when they couldn't buy the studio under the terms they wanted, well, Desi found another studio to buy, and I'll get into that just a little bit later. But when they moved into that second property, they also purchased this building, this apartment building, and utilized it for themselves and guests to take rests in during the busy shooting day and week. The reason I'm shooting here is because we just came to find out that this building is going to be demolished. So I just thought I'd come over and capture it. So I don't know a lot of details about that, but what I do know is that they owned either part of this building or all of it at one time, which would have been from 1953 to at least 1960. Because 1953 was when they moved into the new property, which I'll show you in just a moment because it's just about half a block away. So this is where they would come and hang out and rest if they didn't want to drive all the way back to Roxbury Drive. In fact, I think they probably purchased this building prior to the purchase of the house on Roxbury Drive. So here we are in Cahuenga. Straight ahead are the Hollywood Hills. You can see the Hollywood sign. Oh, now you can. Hold on. It's being blocked by that telephone pole. Where are we? There we go. There it is. When the space shuttle was on the back of that 747 some years ago, it flew right over the Hollywood sign. So this is Cahuenga Boulevard in Los Angeles, in Hollywood. This part of Hollywood is where there is a lot of post-production done. Look at that. A lot of post-production is done for film and television. So what you're looking at now is a soundstage that at one time was part of Desilu Studios. The first property they occupied, where they rented space, the Motion Picture Center, they were only there for 2 years. And Desi wanted to purchase the property, but he wasn't able to get it under the terms that he wanted because he wanted to expand, and he needed the property across the street, but it belonged to the Department of Water and Power. So this lot became available. Now the historical significance of this lot is that this lot was built in 1915, and when it was completed, this is what was known as Metro Pictures. Now you know Metro because it's the M, the first M in MGM, Metro Goldwyn Mayer. So it was built in 1915. Prior to being put under contract by Paramount Studios, Rudolph Valentino made quite a few, at least 3 or 4 of his films here prior to his death in 1926 at the age of 32. Golden Girls was shot here. You might recognize this studio from the film Who Framed Roger Rabbit. This was used as the studio that he worked in. So there's a great deal of history here. Of course, a lot of television. The Dick Van Dyke Show was done here. Like I said, the Golden Girls was done here. That Girl was done at this studio. Lots and lots of television. That's the entrance you might recognize from Roger Rabbit. They also shot the Andrew Griffith Show here. Now that volley between 2 studios, that was shot here, and it was also shot over at the Culver Studios. When Lucy and Desi purchased this property, they had it, so they were here from 1953, and then in 1958, they bought the old RKO lot, which is just on the other side of this facility. And so they had 3 studios running simultaneously. This was known as Desilu Cahuenga. The old RKO lot became Desilu Cahuenga, and that became the world headquarters, adjacent to Paramount, and then eventually absorbed by Paramount. Then they bought the old David Selznick studio in Culver City, where Gone with the Wind was filmed, and Rebecca, and that then became known as Desilu Culver. So the reason for this video is to honor the building that's about to be demolished, that Lucy and Desi will call home away from home. Signing off from Hollywood.